France lost a major war to Great Britain, the 7 Years' War, in 1763. Then they also allied with the Americans when they rose up against the British in the American Revolution. Both of these wars seriously drained France's finances, and they were in debt to the bankers. The church was not taxed, and the majority of the nobility did not pay their fair share. France did not have a parliament or a constitutional monarchy. Instead, the king held absolute power. The other groups of French society had been representative in their legislative body, the Estates General. This body was divided into three groups. The first estate was the clergy, and the second estate was the nobility. These first two groups had owned a lot of land. It was the old wealth of French society. The third estate, which was 96% of the population, was the rest of the society, and each estate had one vote, and the first two would always vote together and basically rubber stamp the king's plans. In fact, the last time that the Estates General had met was in the year 1614, so over 150 years before that. By the year 1789, the upper echelon of the Third Estate consisted of wealthy merchants, lawyers, doctors, and also the Industrial Revolution began. So you started to have wealthy mill owners. These people did not own any land, but they were the new rich. And there's the old adage that the people that have power want to keep it, and the people that don't have power want it. So the new rich wanted more of a say in their government. They were influenced by the Enlightenment and called for reform. While many peasants had escaped feudalism, they still had to deal with the nobility to use their ovens, mills, wine presses. The Lord charged banalities or fees for their services. A rising birth rate as well as a food shortage in 1788 and 1789 led the majority of peasants to the point of starvation. Urban laborers also experienced inflation while their wages dropped in real terms. Finally, the King Louis XVI summoned the convening of the Estates General in May of 1789. The king had wanted more taxes from the first two estates. However, they did not want to budge, and the third estate would rise against the other two. They believed one should be rewarded for their talents, not by the prerogative of their birth. However, the problem was that the third estate was divided. Of those new rich, the bourgeoisie, the merchants, the bankers, the doctors, the mill owners, you had two groups. One was the Girondins. They favored a limited monarchy like Great Britain with more power to the parliament, but they believed only the educated males should vote. The Jacobins didn't want a monarch at all. They wanted a representative government like the United States. However, they believed all males, whether they were rich or poor, should be given the right to vote. You also had the urban poor, the sans culottes, and then the small farmers or the peasants. So the society was very divided in France. And again, the lower two, the sans culottes, small farmers, they were both poor, uneducated. The Jacobins supported them, but the Girondins did not.